everybody. Welcome to another episode of the I Can Do It podcast. I'm your host, April Burke, and today I have a great guest, fellow comedian Jay Coe. Hey, Jay.
Hi, April. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
I was looking at your Facebook today, and holy crap, you've done a lot of stand-up. You've been at the Ice House, the Comedy Store, Flappers, the Improv. Yeah. You do Dat Fan and Friends. I see you do comedy festivals. Like, I want to talk all about that. I think that's great. And I don't know if your profile pic is still the same, but I saw Chewbacca on there. Are you a huge Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I like Star Wars, like many other people. But
Yes.
that was at Disneyland, and I guess you can take a photo op, and he was very handsy, and I don't want to go into details about that story, but I just don't want to incriminate any Wookiees for the Me Too movement.
That is great. That is great. My first time I ever did stand-up, I wore a nice Star Wars tank top. And actually, my birthday is May 4th, so every year I get the May the 4th be with you from Star Wars
awesome.
Fans. Yeah, yeah. My brother's a huge Star Wars fan. I'm into them too, but I'm more of a Trekkie, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, the Next Generation.
I like Star Trek, mostly the original crew. I watched a little bit of the Next Generation, and some of Enterprise, but nothing beyond that. My brother's a big Voyager fan, and he'll go into detail about a lot of Voyager and the crew, and I'm just, I don't know, that it's more nerdy than I want to be, you know? It's like I
love all the shirts you always wear. What do you got going on today? You usually have like a superhero or
yeah, it's a Lion King shirt.
Oh, there you go. Now I see it.
Matata.
All right. Hakuna Matata. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as a Star Wars fan, do you like the baby? It's not Baby Yoda, right? It's like him from another. What is Baby Yoda?
I mean, that's what they're calling him, but that's not his official name. He's just young Yoda, but he's like 50 years old, so he's like considered young. I don't know. I mean, I feel extra nerdy if I go into details about like stuff like that, where I have to push up my glasses every 2 seconds, giving you Star Wars trivia. Well, actually, April, it's not Baby Yoda. He is actually from a different planet. So they have their own race of people that like people just don't get it. Okay, it's just a whole thing.
I know.
I don't want to be that person.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I was talking today about the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Because I'm a huge Batman fan, and he actually, when he's on stage, he's at Dangerfields, which is the first stage I ever performed on. So that was like cool seeing that. Yeah, that was super cool seeing that. And I saw that you had a Bane mask as like a COVID-19 mask in one of your pictures. I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a Bane mask. It's more like a respirator type of thing, where like I posted that picture on Facebook and immediately, hey, it's a jockstrap, like you're wearing a crotch on your face, like so many rude people. I was just trying to support masks and be safe and everything, and people was like, hey, what's that? What do those balls smell like? I was like, okay, all right.
I get Bane, they get jockstrap. I post pictures of my 2-year-old son saying, wear your mask, motherfuckers. Like, you know, obviously he's not saying that, but I think it's a little funny. I'm
sure he thinks it. He just can't express it yet.
That's right.
He's not allowed to express the curse words.
And actually talk about like real stuff. I was married for 9 years, and my husband used to do LARPing, the live action role playing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and for people that don't know what that is, it's like it was like Dungeons and Dragons, but they played it live, like in the woods. And I think he was an elf, and he had like, you know, the fake swords and stuff. And like I always wondered, like I know they drink there, but like I always wondered like what the hell goes on at those places. Because, like,
it's a big orgy. It's the nerdiest orgy that you'll ever attend. It's everyone's fantasies acted out in real life.
Nice.
I've never LARPed, but I've seen the movie Role Models where they explain LARPing, and it's probably my favorite thing in the movie, watching people act out a lot of that stuff. So.
Oh, I know. I love that movie. That's the movie I think of too. It's like
Yeah.
with Ken Jeong is the king, and like
King, yeah, he's the king. He's like, the subjects kiss the rings.
and they're talking about like touching the tips of their swords. Let's gingerly touch our tips.
Yeah,
Anybody
yeah.
that has not seen that movie has to see it. It's got, I don't know, what is that guy's name that plays McLovin? I don't even know. I'm trying to blank it out. But it's got Paul Rudd in it too.
Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott.
Yes, yes. Stifler.
Stifler.
Yes, I actually have one of those fake McLovin IDs, and I took a picture of it once in a hotel room, and I had put it on the bed, and I was like, "Hey, look who was here!" And my dad immediately messages me, "Who the fuck is that nerd in your bedroom? You could do way better than that." And I'm like, "Oh my God,
That's
Dad,
awesome.
it's from a movie." And I like to present it to people when they ask me for my ID when I buy alcohol too. It's like, hey, and like some of them get it. And some of them don't.
Yeah. That's
but either
awesome.
way, you know.
Wish I had that ID to.
It's pretty cool. I like it. You and I met through Dat Fan and Friends, which is a great experience. How did you meet Dat?
It's funny. I was doing a lot of open mics in North Hollywood, Burbank, and I did this one every like Tuesday. They had an open mic on Tuesday. It was at the Cahuenga General Store, and it was run by this older gentleman. His name is Richard, and he kind of looks like one of those guys that used to write protest songs back in the '60s, and he just wanted to like get people on stage and have them like do comedy and music and stuff like that. And he had this weird lottery system, whereas like he would roll like a 6-sided die to get the order of comedians. And I remember I was doing one night there, and that and he had some of his students there, and he was performing, and I was like, oh my God, is that Dat Fan? Like like, you know, being a comedy nerd, you know, like you're like, oh my God, that's Dat Fan. You know who like Dat Fan is. He won he was the first ever winner of Last Comic Standing. And I was like, oh my God, he's doing this open mic. And like he was there a couple times that I went there. And he got mad because he didn't well, it was understandable because like nobody knew when they were supposed to go up really. So like he didn't want to spend all night there. So he goes to the Fourth Wall. The Fourth Wall's in Burbank, and the Fourth Wall they do this sign up online, and they take the first 9 people. And he texts me and he said, hey, you should do the Fourth Wall. You should do the Fourth Wall. It's great. You know, you know when you're gonna go up, you go up and you do your time, and that's it. And then like I said yes, because you know I can't say no to Dat. He's really intense sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I can't say no either.
yeah. And I went there, and I did the Fourth Wall, and I hated it that first time. It was awful. Like there's like 9 other comics, and nobody laughed. They were just kind of staring at me. But
oh no.
Yeah. And I was like, this sucks, you know. But like I was done in an hour, you know. So I was like, I still have time. So like I just started doing those open mics because like I was in and out, you know, and I would do that the Fourth Wall, and I would sign up on my own, and I would see Dat there periodically, and they also have a mic on the weekends where they give you 15 minutes if you just pay like $12, you know, and Dat would he would commandeer those weekend mics with a lot of people that he wanted to perform with. So like I started doing those, and yeah, from there like every time Dat Fan has a thing that he tries to get me up as often as possible. So yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's great. He's great. I love him, you know, like At the time when I was doing comedy, I wasn't doing it as often as I should. Like I was doing comedy when I met Dat Fan, I was doing it maybe like once a week, maybe like once a month sometimes. You know, like you
Yeah.
get to that point where you're like, I'm not going anywhere, so you're like, I don't want to keep doing it. So then, you know, you just kind of don't do it as often, but you don't want to quit. You know, like you still want that, you still want
Yes.
your one foot in there, and then I met Dat Fan, and he just kind of he pushes you. He's like, you should do these shows, man. It's great. And like from there, like I just started like doing a lot more performing. You know, I would do as many fourth wall shows. I would try to get up on other people's shows. So ever since I met Dat Fan, I just try to perform as much as possible, you know, and he kind of pushed me in that direction, you know, so I thank him for
Yeah.
that.
Me too. I was doing, before I got sick, I was doing like 3 nights a week with him. And I was like you, I was doing it once a week, once a month. Then it started like once every 2 months. And then, I was in a relationship where I wasn't allowed to do it at all. So like,
Oh,
yeah, that really sucked. And he made me feel like alive again, like I had a purpose and that I could actually succeed and do something good with comedy. And he's definitely an inspiration to me as well, because he does, like he pushes you to be your best, and I love that about him.
oh
I
yeah,
really
yeah,
do. Yeah, in New
yeah.
York City, like all the shows, I don't know how they are in California, but they're pretty much all bringer shows. And for people that know what bringer shows are, is you get stage time if you bring people. They're pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
And I would spend hundreds of dollars, because I live in upstate New York, to go travel to New York City. I would even pay my friends like tickets to get in sometimes, like just to get that stage time. And so
Yeah.
it's beautiful to do it at Zoom when I could do it free from my living room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very convenient, you know. But I am surprised at how many people don't want to show up, you know, and they're at home. You know, they're at home.
I know his town hall meeting that he had. I mean, he works with over 600 comedians, and I think 52 showed up, he said, or something like that. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I was
and
surprised at how many people were there.
yeah, I know. And I have tried to get comedians in, and they fail the audition. The audition, guys, to get into this is you sit in the audience, you pay attention, and you laugh. But
Yeah.
however, a lot of people think this is difficult. They cook dinner, they play on their phones. Like, it's not hard. It's not like you have to go up there and impress and like knock the socks off them. You have to sit in a goddamn show and pay attention for an hour.
Well, yeah, yeah. But most people think Zoom is like Spotify. You know, like they can put it in the background and then kind of do their own thing. But you know, it's an actual like meeting. You're supposed to like meet with people and I don't know, like people just don't get it. But
No, they
hopefully,
don't.
eventually, you know, with more of these Zoom shows coming up, like most people will kind of take it as like a real like performance where they're like watching something like on TV, like they'll binge watch 18 hours of a show, but they can't sit still for like a 10-minute set.
I know. It's freaking ridiculous. It's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy. The first show I was on, there was a woman that was breastfeeding her baby, and she was a performer, and her phone or whatever she was on kept flipping upside down. You hear the baby screaming. It was like a horror show. And eventually she left, but it was like, oh my God. Like, my friend Cheryl and my boyfriend watches my son, so like I can actually pay attention and not have to do that kind of crap. Like, you have to be professional, people.
Oh
it's,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not that hard. And for people that want to get in, I've been asking people if they want to get in, and I've kind of stopped that because the people that I've brought in have not done so well, and I don't want to like ruin my reputation with that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
It's crazy. Now, I've seen you've been in many comedy festivals. I've never done that kind of thing. Do you have to send in like a tape, or how do you
Well,
go about doing that?
I've only done one comedy festival. It was the LA Comedy Festival back in 2008.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it was strictly like for stand-ups. You know, it was more like a collection of like improv acts and sketch, and I think it was more geared towards that because it was just me and another stand-up, and we did maybe a couple nights, and we did like 10-15 minutes, and that was it. You know, and it wasn't like It wasn't like you know, like Montreal or anything like that. It's just, I think it's just like, hey, we just want to get some comedy people. We don't care who they are. Just let's put them in a room and see what happens. You know, like let's make the magic happen. And so like me and this other guy, we're just like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, yeah. I went into a comedy competition once. Uh-oh, you're frozen. Oh no.
Like, do I go up? When do I go up? No, I'm back.
My Wi-Fi or your one of our Wi-Fi's is freezing, or our service is freezing. But
well, I think New York is a long way to travel, so there was some turbulence.
definitely some turbulence. Now, have you
Yeah.
had any have you had weird experiences at comedy shows? Like, people come up to you afterwards and just say really weird shit? Because I've gotten a lot of that.
Not so much. I mean, I get into more like weird situations with like other comics and like I did a comedy competition once, and I learned my lessons. I learned my lessons doing every show you learn your lesson, and that one lesson that I learned is don't make fun of the host if you're doing a comedy competition, because I did not win. I did not win at all. But I chose to make fun of the host, and I thought, it was pretty funny, and the audience thought it was pretty funny as well. But he did not think that was funny, so I was not anywhere near like the top percentile for winning that competition.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like doing comedy in general in Los Angeles, you just kind of run into like weird situations. I used to do I remember I did the Rainbow Room in off of Hollywood Boulevard, and that place is it's not conducive for comedy. It's kind of a weird place, like I don't know if you've ever been to the Rainbow Room, but
No.
the stage is below. You walk down some stairs to below where the stage is, and you're kind of looking up at the audience, and it's so weird.
That is
And
weird.
yeah, and there was this guy, and he was just kind of heckling. He was heckling all the comedians, like but like psychoanalyzing, and he's like, oh, this is, you do it because you need attention, or because your daddy didn't hug you or whatever, and it was just like that
shit.
kind of stuff. Yeah, and he was just like yelling that kind of stuff. He's this one guy, and I went up on stage, and like me and him went back and forth about like I wanted him to shut up and blah blah blah, but he was like, you do this because blah blah blah, and I was like, and then they cut my mic off. And they told me to get off the stage, but he was the guy that was heckling everybody.
Oh,
and then
shit.
I was so mad. I was so mad that I left the place, and outside was the guy that was heckling everyone, and he goes to me and he goes, hey man, good set, and he tries to shake my hand. And I was like, oh come on, man. And I didn't want to shake his hand, and he jumped into his car, and then he just drove off. And I was like, oh god, that's so that's just like so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of balls, and I think he's the one with the freaking mental problems. Like somebody didn't hug him or something. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there was no other reason for him to heckle people besides getting attention for himself. But he didn't want that. He thought he was legit helping the show by doing that. But
yeah. Some people think like they can be part of the show. Like they probably wouldn't have the balls to get up there and do it themselves. But the alcohol and the chair they're sitting in that makes them like a warrior or something. I've never been heckled. The one thing that threw me off once, I was telling a joke about STDs, and some guy was like, woo, STDs. I was like, whoa, all right, sir. Please do not approach me after the show.
oh man, heckling is great. Heckling, when people heckle you, that's where you earn your wings. That's where you learn to think on your feet and kind of deal with like people and situations. it's fun. I don't know. I like it sometimes, unless they try to like dig personal or like, like, oh, you're ugly, or like something
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, you have the microphone and you can kind of deal with it in your own way. I mean, I try not to be mean about dealing with hecklers, because I'm a pretty nice guy. Um, but I don't know. I like dealing with hecklers sometimes.
Yeah. Now, do you do any crowd work? For those that don't realize what crowd work is when you go around the room and you kind of pick on people around the room. I can't do it because then I'll just lose my focus on like what I'm doing. But I have done it before. There was a group of Belgian young men in the front, and I was telling a joke about a cum sock, and they had no idea what the hell I was talking about. I'm like, all right, so Americans are the only ones that jizz in socks, apparently, because they looked at me like I had 20 heads.
You Americans, so strange with your weird customs.
I'm like, well, what do you guys use? And they're like, tissues. I'm like, oh, well, that's normal. Okay. Crazy Americans, I guess.
Yeah, we're so strange. Like, I did a show with Tony Rock. Tony Rock is Chris Rock's brother.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
Yeah, I did a show. I opened for him, and he likes to up front just do a bunch of crowd work. And he was telling me, yeah, like every time I do a show, I try to see how long I can go without telling a joke. Like he'll do a bunch of crowd work, until he feels like, oh, I should start telling jokes. So I was like, oh,
that's cool. That's cool. I wouldn't be able to pull that off, but that's cool.
Yeah. So if I have an opportunity to kind of just talk or riff on something, I'll do that if I have time. I mean, I can't do it for like a 5-minute or 10-minute set, but if I'm doing longer, I can kind of like riff a bit and then go into the material. So
yeah, and some of the comedians, some of the headliners actually at Dat Fan Show will do that. They'll go around and they'll talk about other people's jokes and I think that's cool, but like I don't think I would be able to pull that off. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people have that skill. I honestly didn't have that skill at first. I was when I first started doing stand-up, I was very scripted. I was just like, I need to say these jokes the way I wrote it. And then I started taking some improv classes, and I started taking acting classes, and it kind of like breaks you out of that shell and kind of like be more in the moment
Yes.
with your performance. So like it's like for me to kind of deviate from like a lot of the scripted jokes, it's kind of refreshing, because like sometimes you can find a different angle on a joke that
Yes.
you didn't see before, because when you write it out, you see it as one way, but when you're performing it, you can kind of like see different emotions or see it a different perspective, or see like, like there's different things. So like I try to do that if I'm doing jokes, like material, I'll try to like see if I can say it a certain way, or see if there was a different emotion that I could bring to it.
Yeah.
So plus, you get bored telling the same jokes over and over again.
I agree. When I first started, I did it the script like word for word, and then you know what? Ever since then, like I tell it different every time, and it's just whatever comes to my head, and I feel like I improve it like every time I'm doing that, like because it would get boring and redundant to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I always to try and throw in new stuff into like to kind of refresh things, because if you got the same people, the same friends coming to see your shows, like they're gonna want some newer stuff, I think. Otherwise they're they're gonna sit there on their phones looking at Pornhub or whatever they're looking at.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah.
Looking at Pornhub in the middle of a comedy show. I've heard her stuff already, but I kind of want to rub one out right in the middle of this comedy show. What's happening on Pornhub?
I actually had a couple I did a nice benefit for veterans with PTSD, and this couple comes up to me afterwards, and they're like, we just want you to know you were great, and we were touching ourselves the entire time you were on stage. And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, okay, like, thank you. That's
Glad
what
I had that effect. Fist pound, bro. Fist pound.
I said thank you, and then like I'm a nail biter, so I was like, oh my god, I just touched their hands. Like I gotta go to the bathroom, clean my hands.
Oh yeah, the
It's just,
STDs.
yeah, and then like other shows, because I'll talk about my mental illnesses and stuff like that, and then people will come up and be like, hey, you know, I'm going through the same thing. I've actually had people like private message me on Facebook, like, hey, I'm having a rough time, and like I'll talk them through it and stuff like that, which I think is neat to be able to connect with people on that. I mean, obviously, when you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you're not able to do that, but I like to be able to be personable with the people
Oh
that
yeah,
come and
yeah,
see me. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah. I
Definitely.
don't. I just do my stuff and just leave.
Well, usually like the clubs in New York City, like the comics like hang out by the door. So on the way out, everybody sees them. But you do have the performers that just get up and then they leave. Because I travel so far to get to those goddamn shows, I stay and watch the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I like to support my fellow comedians. Tonight I'm going on sitting in on a Dat Fan show. Bringing my boyfriend with me too, and just to, you know, support, and because he's done a lot of great things for me, so I want to kind of repay that in return.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Now, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on the Facebook.
Yes.
I'm also on Instagram. I think that's about it. I don't have a website yet.
I don't either. I have Twitter, but I barely use it because I don't know. It just reposting the same thing like 50 million times just seems kind of like boring. I don't know.
Yeah, Twitter scares me. I don't want to tweet anything that might bite me in the ass like 20 years from now.
I know. I think that now, like when I'm talking like to my boyfriend or something or a friend, and I'm talking to like controversial shit, and it's like you think about those people that get recorded and then it brings up horrible stuff from years and years and years ago. I mean, they are horrible. They're saying horrible racist shit, but like I'm like telling a rape joke or something, and then I'm like, well, shit, if that comes out, like I'm gonna look like a freaking rapist or something. Yeah. although like, you know, maybe I was thinking like Louis C.K., he invites people in and he jerks off. Like, what can I do to harass people? What can I do to ruin my career in 5 years?
How can I make people uncomfortable so they can exploit me?
That's right. It's crazy. I'm on, what am I on? I'm on Instagram and Twitter as @ComicAprilBurke, and I'm on Facebook as April Burke. And I do have the fan page as April Burke, and that's about it. I don't do any other kind of social media, but I think that's all of them, right? I think that's pretty much all of them.
I think that's all you need, really.
Yeah, I think so too. Otherwise, it's just overkill. And
yeah.
Like, and I like my parents were on Facebook and they would see the shit I would post, and like people, you know, I post dirty shit, so I get a lot of dirty comments in return, and like my father like just couldn't handle that. So like now they are off of Facebook. They're no longer on it. Like he's like, I can't listen to my daughter talk like that, you know, or not listen, but read that kind of shit. But my dad and my parents actually came to a show I produced back in October here in upstate New York, and he laughed his ass off, which made me feel good because like he's never laughed his ass off at like anything I've ever done. And I was like, I finally had validation. Like, yeah, I know I have daddy issues, but it was like finally I got some kind of validation that like, oh my God, I did something right. Like it felt amazing. And I still go back and look at the video like just to see him laughing. Like, oh, that feels good. Have your parents, have they ever seen you perform?
Yes.
They have? What are their opinion? Do they have are they supportive?
I have a great story. My parents have seen me perform twice, maybe 3 times. The first time my mom saw me perform, it was at the Ice House in the smaller room, and it was for a packed crowd, and I thought I did very well, and I went back to my parents and was like, so what did you think? And my mom goes, well, everyone else was laughing.
Oh.
uh, which inside it hurts, but you know, I got 99% of the room, but the 1% that I really wanted to get
I
my
know.
jokes.
I know that's got to be an ego crush. Like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. And then I remember there was this one guy, and I think he was the last comic, and my mom was cracking up, and I was like, come on.
My dad, at least, he was like, you were my favorite comedian, but if I had to pick another one, I'm like,
Well,
no.
why do you have to be a parent right now?
Exactly. Be a fan, please.
Yeah, but no, but they enjoyed the jokes, and they've told me, oh, you're really funny. So.
That's great. That's great. And it's great to have that kind of support. I just have like a couple of friends that'll come to shows with me. It's always the same people, the same supportive people. You kind of learn who your real friends are. You get a lot of the, oh yeah, I'll be there. And then it's like, yeah, they don't show up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've gotten used to that. But I feel bad if I see the same, like.
Oh no. I think it's my Wi-Fi.
People showing up for them. So
we just froze again. I think it's my shitty
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. It is. It's freaking Spectrum. That's what we have out here. And let me tell you, it is shitty.
I have LA Spectrum. So I think it's a little better. Yeah, it must be better out in LA than in New York City.
Oh my God, it's horrible. They have the Spectrum cable too, and it never works. Every time you turn on the TV in the morning, you got to reset the box. It's like, it's super shitty. And I probably should turn it off and just use my cellular data because I have a unlimited plan. Like I don't need the Wi-Fi, but I know I don't. I think I'm going to start doing that with DAT shows because I don't want to lose connection. Sally Mullen said she lost connection the other night, and she was a headliner. She said she felt like such a loser. I was like, oh man. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, that's just like so shitty.
Yeah, that's part of the Zoom shows now, you know, like if your internet connection isn't great, then your performance might be jeopardized by it. I remember I was doing a Zoom show, and this lady, she did her whole set, and it was muted. Like her whole, like she was like still like talking, and like people were like telling her, unmute yourself, but I don't know if she could hear, but her whole set was muted, and honestly it was the funniest set I have ever seen. It was so great.
That had to be pretty hilarious. And that's funny that she couldn't hear people either. That's hilarious.
Yeah, she was just like, I don't know what people are saying right now, but I'm gonna plow through these jokes. I don't care. I need to get my time done. And she's like, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. You're seeing a lot of like new crazy stuff on Zoom shows now. That's it's kind of better than regular TV now.
I agree. I think it is. It is because it's just natural, you know. And it's unedited. It's raw. Like when Dat is going to start. Dat's shows right now are free for the public, but he's going to start charging, and I think it's great. He's going to make them like black rectangles, which I think is good because now I perform on my phone. I have to get a laptop because my laptop is just shitty. And so I only see like one person looking at me and laughing because it doesn't really flip back and forth. I don't see everybody. Do you do yours on a computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my iPad. When I started doing Dat's Zoom shows, I was just doing it on my phone. So I would see maybe about 4 people, but I do it on my iPad. And if I do full screen, I can see maybe about 8 to 10 people, and then you gotta kind of scroll. But I don't know. I just can't figure out it on my laptop and have a microphone set up like that. I've been YouTubing this whole stuff. I can't figure out how to set up a microphone. I need to talk to Kaiser.
Yes, Kaiser is great. He gave me a recommendation for a laptop. He gave me a recommendation for a microphone. I got the ring light that he suggested I get, like, he knows his shit. Like, he's on that shit. But yeah, like, Dad's like, you can't do it on your phone forever. I'm like, I know, but like, I can't afford shit right now. Like,
yeah.
They need to sign that second stimulus bill, which I don't think they did today. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. Waiting for money as well. So.
so you know how it is. They used to say starving artist, but it should be definitely starving stand-up comedian.
Starving stand-ups. Starving stand-ups.
Yes,
we got to do
definitely.
the starving stand-up show, and we have to have our Venmo ID on our screen so that we have handout, so people can tip us and give us money.
You know, we should do
us.
that, because you know what, porn stars do that shit and they get tips.
Well, I mean, they also show us a lot more than what comedians will ever show us or ever want to show us.
That's true. I saw a promotional ad for topless comedy. I do not have the balls to do that. I could not do that. Like, they actually do get on stage and they're fucking topless. Their titties are hanging out. Like, are people paying attention, like, to their jokes? They can't be.
No, not at all. Why would you? Why would you pay to listen when you can just stare?
They could be talking about anything, and you're just like, ooh, titties.
Yes. Wow, look at this. This great. You're so funny.
Yeah, right? Oh, let me clap. Let me clap. Now, I wonder if they make tips. Like, I wonder. I noticed, like, the ticket price to get them in was jacked up because, of course, you know, they're showing titties.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, I just wonder. There was a guy in New York City, and I think I've seen him on, like, Netflix or something. He takes his shirt off, and he's, like, he's not muscular or anything. He's just got, like, the big beer belly, and he did it one night at a show, and I remember everybody saying, oh, my God, that's so dumb. Why did he do that? And now this motherfucker is on Netflix or Amazon, and he's got all these specials. It's like, wow, that was kind of smart.
Yeah, Burke Kreischer?
Yes, Bert, yes.
Yeah, he's great. He has a lot of great stories. I don't know why he takes his shirt off. I think it's just his, like, gimmick. But I don't know. I've always wanted to have the courage to take my shirt off on stage. But I don't. My farmer's tan won't let me take my shirt off on stage. But,
I could do like
please.
I couldn't do the top. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I couldn't do the topless thing. I don't think there's enough drugs or alcohol to make me comfortable enough to do that. Like, I don't know. Like, my brother could see that. My father could see it. My son could see it. Like, I don't know. Maybe if they have, like, a C-section scar fetish comedy show, I can do that.
Let's blur some of this. Just let's blur some of it, not all of it.
That's right.
maybe from right here. I'm topless up here. You can see a lot of neck.
That's right.
Ooh, so much neck. She's showing a lot of necks. It's so provocative.
It is, right? And when I first started, but the first show I did, I had the little tiny Star Wars tank top on, and I had a mini skirt, and they told me it was too distracting. But now I see, like, Nikki Glazer, she's wearing barely anything. A lot of the hot comics, like the female comedians, like, they wear skimpy shit. So I don't know if that's acceptable again in clubs. I went to one in New York City with the last show I did, and there was a girl there. She was like in like a mini skirt. She had the hooker boots and everything. And I'm thinking, damn, I could do that. I could bring more people in, I think, if I dressed like that.
Shake the moneymaker. Let's bring in the crowd.
That's right. I won't show nudity, but, you know, a skirt and a tank top I could pull off. Now, if you showed up in a short, low-cut tank top and a skirt, you'd make an impression too.
I would knock people's socks off.
That's right. The show would sell out.
That's all I need to do, really. For me to blow up, I just need to take my shirt off and just showcase the goods. The jokes are secondary. I don't have to be funny. I just have to show off my rockin' bod. I
could show off the mom bod, be like, yeah, this is it, guys.
it's all about the sex appeal. That's all that I've been missing. I just needed to showcase that to people. I keep hiding it like like a nun. I'm like a priest. I need to show everyone that I can be sexual.
It'd be hilarious. I could picture like a Captain America low V-neck shirt.
Yeah, the shield is dented. It's dented to, yeah. For patriotism, it's dented right here. So evildoers know that the chest is coming.
That's right. That's right. I want to remind viewers to please subscribe to my channel. That's how I'm trying to do this show to make money for my son, really, because I'm on SSDI for kidney failure and PTSD. I don't receive child support. Like, I need help.
Oh God.
Yeah. So like, please subscribe. Like, I have enough views to become a YouTube partner, but not enough subscribers. You need 1,000 subscribers, and I have like 52. So,
oh man.
Yeah.
You should do an unboxing video.
Yeah.
They're so popular. It's like, oh, I received this in the mail, you guys. Let's see what it is. You know what it is.
I know. I hate those things. And they have them for children too. Like, oh, what's in this mystery box for toys? My son loves those videos, and it's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, my nephew loves watching those. It's like, oh, he does a review for toys. Like, I can do a review for toys. This one sucks. This is cool.
Exactly. It's weird. Like
Jayco's 10-second toy review.
Hey, that might be a popular show. Parents might like it, the 10 seconds. They might like that.
Yeah.
Instead of the unwrapping. It's just so weird. I don't know. I just think it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you and I, we've got things to do tonight. What are you doing tonight? You're at a comedy show, right?
I'm doing a show at 7:30. It's on Zoom. I don't remember the name. I'm so bad with plugging things.
That's all right. We're not live, so it's good.
But I'm doing a Zoom show tonight, and then I'm doing the Burbank Comedy Festival the 10th and 11th next week. So that'll also be on Zoom. So
that's cool.
That's why I thought you were.
That's why I thought you were in so many comedy festivals, because I did see the Burbank thing. I did. I just didn't notice the date on it.
It's crazy. Like I'm doing the Burbank Comedy Festival this year, but it's not live. The one year that I get to do it, I don't get to do it live. But
it's all good.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
It should be, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit in on a Dat Fan and Friends show. I don't even remember who's on it. Dr. Ashita is on it. She's gonna be on an upcoming podcast. I love her. She's great. She's a retired medical doctor, for people that don't know her, and she has hilarious stories about different things that have happened in her room there, the exam room, and I think it's great. But I want to thank you for being on my show. I had a blast.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You'll definitely have to come back on again sometime.
All right. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, everybody, be kind to one another. Enjoy the rest of your week. And goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.